Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's me, Johnny, once again with another video today. Today, I wanted to hop into the channel and basically talk about 5 things that I think are very important for any new manager coming into Sorare to understand the platform, to have resources of where to get information from, people that have knowledge, that like to share it, all those things and more in today's video, which I think is going to be helping you on your journey a lot, because this has been something that has helped me personally massively. And yeah, today I wanted to share that with you because I think it's very valuable. The most important thing on Sorare is knowledge. It's not the amount of money that you have. It's not the amount of Ethereum that you have on the platform. In my opinion, the most important thing is to have that knowledge and understand when to shift your account across, how to utilize your budget, and how to find the right players, which teams to go for, what kind of stacks to build, what stacks not to build, all those things. In today's video, I will try to give you tools that will help you along your way of being a Sorare manager. And yeah, that is the main thing that we want to do today. As always, guys, nothing said in this video is financial advice, so please keep that in mind. As always, do your own research when you do jump into anything that is crypto related or anything that has to do with your own money. And in terms of investments. So please don't take anything I say as a given. Do your own research. But guys, link in the description down below. Sign up for Sorare. If you do it through using the link in the description down below, you will actually receive you will receive 1 limited item as soon as you buy 5 limited items or whatever. If it's super rare, whatever it is, if you buy them through the auctions here, you'll be given a limited card. So sign up using the link in the description down below. That helps the channel a lot. Thank you. One thing that you need to take part in immediately is, first of all, Discord. So this is going to be the first tip that I'm going to give you guys. And the reason as to why you need to use Discord is because basically every single manager that you will find on Sorare has a Discord channel. And as you guys might remember as well, let me move this up here. So when you go to a manager on Sorare itself, right? When you go to like Nepenthes, you can see that they have their Discord linked to the account. And that way you can contact these people. Let's say I'm interested in one of the players that Nep is trying to sell. Let's go for one of the players he's selling. He's not selling anyone actually right now. But let's say I would be interested in Saliba. And I go onto the market and I type in Saliba. I look into Saliba here and I realize that his price lately as a rare has been around 3,300 in the last auction in this past month. It has been 2,700 before. If we go on a longer time frame, you can see that he has set kind of a base for himself around like the 2,500. So let's say Nep has this item in his club now. I then go ahead and search for him on Discord. I type in his name here. That way I can go ahead and contact him directly and say, hey, buddy, I know you have this Saliba. I personally would really like to have him. How much would you actually want for him if you were to sell him in the future or right now even? Or you could even say to him, hey, look, I have certain players in my club, these types of players in my club, and I'm willing to go for a trade offer. Would you be interested in any of the players that I have in my club? That type of stuff seems to be happening a lot on Discord. I personally have done it already for Matondo specifically. I've contacted the guy and it's been very, very nice talking to him and getting the deal done. We both wished ourselves each other luck after the deal was done, that the players would be performing for us. So that's the first thing when it comes to Discord. But there is more to it. So on Discord, when you go onto the official Sorare Discord, right? This one right here in the top left, I think Sorare has their Discords linked somewhere. If you guys can't find it, I'll put it into the comments down below and pin it for you as well as the top comment of the video. But basically, the reason why you should be joining the Sorare Discord, apart from like setting up a Discord to contact managers, it's very important to do this because in the Sorare Discord, you have certain areas like the beginners section where you can ask questions and more experienced managers will come in and help you out. Ask the community sections and all that good stuff. You can give the company feedback in terms of what they could be bringing in onto the platform. But also, as you can see right here, you can go into the specific leagues Discord channels here, and you can ask questions like this. This was something I asked yesterday. I said, hey lads, Hudemarker is able to play for Kambur this week because he was injured. He was not able to play lately. And then this guy, who seems to be a little bit more of an expert on it, he said, we don't know. I'm taking the bet that he's recovered. Risky though, but I have no alternatives. If you have one, pick the alternative. Then I said, I have Musiala, and then he will definitely be on the bench. And then he said, then let's win and lose together. Yep, let's do it. So then later on throughout the day, as the news were coming out, that guy that responded to me was nice enough to come in and say this: Kambur preview. Hudemarker's fully fit. All others fit. We won this bet at least. So basically, both of us have been exchanging information. I asked the question. He came in as an expert and told me about it. And this is so helpful. This is something that you have to get involved with if you want to be as successful as you can be on Sorare. It's so important to use the power of the knowledge of the community. And this is something that I've been practicing quite often lately. For example, with the suspension of Openda, I've gone in here and I've asked, hey guys, how's it looking? How many games is Openda going to be suspended for? Because obviously I don't speak Dutch. So when I type it into Google, unless I can translate the page, it's not going to be giving me the right information. And here are people that are really close to the club, like Vitesse and such, and they get the information and they share it with people. So they told me, yes, he did elbow a player. He did get a straight red card. So he's going to be suspended for a couple of games, but he's expected to be back on the 12th of this February. So that is something you should be using for yourself. If you don't, you are missing out on so much information that will help you on your journey on Sorare. After that, something that is a bit more simple, but also quite helpful to kind of follow your friends and what they're doing, rather than constantly having to ask them, hey buddy, how's it looking? What are you doing with your lineups and all that stuff? If they are unreachable, sometimes we can get impatient. I personally want to always see how my friends are doing on the platform. So what you need to do, let me move my camera away here. You go onto scouting, you go onto managers, then you type in Nepenthes, for example, who's my buddy. So I want to know how his lineups are looking. I can go into his gallery. I can see how much his club is worth. I can see some of his latest, what is it called? Like his latest signings I can see. I can look into his SO5 stats, the players that he has earned 3 rewards. And I can see that he has only earned 1 rare player. And this player actually got really good points. Let me bring the camera back here. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can go ahead and see everything when it comes to my buddy. I can check out his club. Then I can go into something that I personally really love, and that is the SO5 results. When you click on it, you can actually see how things are looking for him right now this week. Edin Visca, for example, already has 80 points. They're still only in the first half of the game, so he could be looking at 100 points by the end of it. His Saliba played really well for Marseille in a game where they conceded 5 goals. No, not 5 goals. They conceded 2 goals or 3. No, actually, I think it might have been 2. Anyways, he got himself a 63.2 game there. That's very interesting to see. I can see all his teams and how they are doing currently. His under 23 rare is currently 18th, which is unbelievable. It's the rare tier as well. The Challenger Europe team, as I mentioned, his Edin Visca is doing a good job. His team, along with the likes of Bruno Perez, right here, this Trabzon stack could be getting really good points if the other 2 boys step up their game and do well. So this is something that I personally really like, because I always love to see how my friends are doing. I always love to see what kind of lineups they have going on. But of course, you can also go ahead and scout some of the biggest accounts on the platform and see how they are doing. So if you go into You Never Walk Alone's account, you see that his club is valued at 2.3 million. I want to know what kind of lineups this man is playing. So I go into the SO5 results and I see he has a gazillion teams lined up. You can just see it immediately right there. And if we go into his club here, you can see what kind of lineups is the biggest account on the platform playing. Like, what is he invested in? Let me pick his brain and understand how he is approaching the game itself. Stuff like that I find very valuable. This is so transparent. Like, Sorare is extremely transparent, and it's nice to see how things are going for certain managers and what they are focusing on, what kind of players are bringing them rewards. And if you see that these players are kept by him in his club and one of the biggest accounts on the platform, one of the most knowledgeable people on the platform, is picking these types of players. Sure, you can't buy these players as super rares. Not all of us are as well doing in terms of monetary situation as these people are. But for example, this Vitor Ferreira seems to be a very important player for him, right? So I then click right on it. I go to Vitor Ferreira, and I see that his limited version, which might be accessible for me, goes for 566. I see that he has invested into this guy, and he's been popping off lately. So I can tell myself, all right, so if one of the biggest accounts in the game is kind of banking on this kid to do well, maybe I should get him, but as a limited. Or he has him as a super rare, which obviously is worth a lot, a lot of money. I personally look at this and think, all right, maybe I'll get him as a rare. Maybe I'll get him as a limited. So you can kind of look into other managers and how they are doing, what kind of lineups they're going for, and learn from that. I find that very valuable, and I think it could be very valuable to you guys, but it adds a little bit of a fun element to kind of scout what your friends are doing on the platform. Not necessarily a massive thing that every Sorare manager should know about, but I still believe it is still very, very good to know about this part of Sorare. Another thing that I find extremely valuable is this section right here on Sorare Data. And as you guys can clearly tell, most of the things that Sorare managers should be able to know about are outside of the Sorare page itself, which is something that needs to change in the future. I should be able to do all of this on the Sorare page itself, but I'm thankful for the Sorare Data page to exist because it is the most important thing to take part in. But on Sorare Data, I type in Evan Ndicka. I'm interested in buying this player, right? This is an under 23 player that goes until 2024. So he has a bit of longevity left in the under 23s, and his L15 scores are ridiculously good, 63, 62. Now he goes for around 1,700 euros. Now if I think, all right, well, this guy's a bit too expensive, how do I find other players of his level that are maybe not as expensive and still have a bit more upside to themselves to maybe get to the level of an Ndicka? So what you can do at that point is, instead of looking at the price graph and the SO5 scores all the time, you can also click the similar players section. Now this will show you other players that are going for maybe more or less in terms of like their SO5 scores, players that might be on the same level or close to the same level as Ndicka. So he goes for 1,700 euros. Let's say I want to find a player that goes for less but has similar type of scores. So I scroll down in the similar players section and I look at these players. I see Militao, 5k. I see Arsen Adamov, 1.7k, just recently joined Zenit, big player. But then I think instead of getting him, I can easily get someone like Ndicka instead because he plays Champion Europe. This one would be in Challenger. So I don't see the value investing that much in a challenger player. I see Sergio Gomez, who is more expensive, as you can see. Bastoni is really expensive. Then you see players like Saliba. And then you see someone like Boscagli, for example. But then again, yes, he might be a little bit cheaper at the time, but he's 24 years old. So again, the similar players section gives you so much information that you can use moving forward. And then you see someone like this guy, who is at Ulsan Hyundai Horang in the K-League. In the K-League itself, if we go to the sorarescout.com/season planner page, you can see that the K-League is apparently going to be beginning on the 19th of February. And this guy has an L5 of 71 and an L15 of 61. And then I go onto his page and I realize, hold on a second, this guy's only going for 1,200 now. Ndicka was going for 1,700. Of course, there is a benefit in having Ndicka, who plays Champion Europe. But if you want to play under 23s, for example, it doesn't matter what league they play in. It just matters what their SO5 scores are. And if you look into this guy's SO5 scores and you compare them to the likes of Ndicka, you see a lot of similarities there, right? You see even this guy outperforming him on a regular basis. And I think to myself, okay, so instead of investing that much into someone like Ndicka, why not just invest a lot less of that money into someone like this? Of course, he's currently going for 1,200 in the market, but I am pretty sure you can get him for less than that because lately he has been selling for maximum of 1,013 euros. That is the price that he has been going for lately. That's the ultimate price. And you can definitely jump in there and get this guy into your team. Again, he doesn't have as long of utility left as Ndicka, but you're looking at someone that still has 1.5 years of under 23 who you can make a lot of profit off and yield a lot of rewards from. And it doesn't really, like, it's not the same price. You have to invest so much less. And again, I'm not saying this is a perfect example. You should be going for this guy now and instead of going for him. What I'm trying to tell you guys is when you do your research on the players, please, please, please use this page and kind of understand what kind of other options would be available to you before you go ahead and sign the player that you're personally interested in anyways. So then you can look at it and be like, all right, so there are not many players on his level that get the same types of scores. So I can get this guy into my team for the price that he's valued at right now and basically save myself some money on getting the higher rated player, basically. So then again, Joao Victor, for example, he plays in the Brazilian League. The Brazilian League is only going to be coming back on the 10th of April. But this Joao Victor, for example, plays for this team, has an SO5 score that is extremely consistent, not that many lows, plays for a strong side. I believe Corinthians is a good side in Brazil. And you can see his scores are extremely consistent and he has utility until 2023. So again, what has he been selling for lately? Is it less than what Ndicka is going for? So lately he's been going for 1,280, 1,240. So more and more people are interested in signing this man up into their clubs. And this is another one that could have a really good season this year in Brazil and easily be signed with a different club in the next year that might be in Challenger Europe or even Champion Europe if he is one of them talents that a lot of bigger clubs are going to be scouting. So again, I wanted to showcase this feature to you. That would be the third thing that I would personally want to point out to you guys, because I feel like the similar players section here on Sorare Data is a little bit undervalued. So go ahead and use that one as well before you make your purchases as you're doing your research. That is going to be a very, very important thing. And of course, keep in mind that the leagues the players play in play a big role. So Evan Ndicka here, sure, you can use him in Champion Europe as well. That is quite big, and that is probably also why he is valued this highly compared to some of the other players that get similar scores like him. And yeah, that's very important information to have in my opinion. Another thing that I would highly recommend to you guys to use is the calendar from, I believe, Professor Techers. He has put together an incredible calendar showing you exactly what game weeks, what type of leagues are playing, how to prepare for what's to come, showcasing stuff like the game week 248, showcasing that it has the MLS confirmed to be starting there. Then you have the start date of the Brazilian League confirmed. Sure, I've shown you this page right here a second ago, which is the Sorare Scout page, if it would ever show up. Come on now. Well, okay, there we go. So this page I've shown you guys, which is a bit simplified, but this one right here from Professor Techers is incredible because it showcases you how many games are being played in that game week as well, I believe, or if this is like how many teams are playing in that game week. I'm not 100% sure exactly how this one works, but all I know is this has been very helpful to me personally. I would highly recommend downloading this file. I will go ahead and put this file out there for you guys. If I can have a link for it, I'll put it into the pinned comment as well. But this is something that I find very, very helpful. For example, you can see when the World Cup qualifiers are happening, that around game week 255, I can see here World Cup qualifiers for America are going to be happening again. So I can expect some of my players that are from that region to be used once again. Then you have the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers there as well. And then I'm, for example, very interested in the Russian League. So how's the Russian League schedule looking? Let me find the Russian League right here. So Russian Premier League, you can see here, down here, we can see that they have games starting in game week 248. I believe that is the end of February. Towards the end of February, you have like 3 game weeks of them being utilized. Then you have a bunch of weeks where they are not utilized, as I don't know why that is. But then again, it's very useful to see this information to maybe prepare a sell-off before this week comes around, selling the players and then reinvesting somewhere else if you wanted to. So this type of stuff is extremely important. I don't know how often he updates it, But I will ask him personally if he could send me that calendar, that the newest one that he personally has going on. I mean, this one was for January 2022, as you guys can see, so it's not necessarily outdated, but I'm assuming he is making a new one every month possibly. But this really helps to understand where to invest into, how you can take part in every single game week at all times without really missing out if you invest in certain leagues. So for example, for the June to July time, you guys can see Europe is barely playing, not even playing at all. And then you have teams like the Argentinian League, you have the Serie A in Brazil, you have the MLS, you have the K League, the J League, those ones playing at that time, which you can benefit from massively by having like under 23 teams, all-star teams that can perform really well to get rewards of tier 1 or even podium, and get yourself rewards for players that play in the top leagues in Europe. So that's a very important thing to know. I will put the link in the description down below as soon as I find everything that I need for you guys to be able to download this one. One last thing that I want to mention is not necessarily a page or anything like that. It is the fact that Sorare is something where you will learn from mistakes and you will make mistakes. It's impossible to avoid them. So as a last point of advice in this video, I want to give you guys the thought of basically knowing, hey, I am going to be making mistakes. It's going to be fine. I'll move on. Everything's going to be good. I will learn from this and get into better places for my squad and make the right decisions to be getting rewards and all that good stuff. So basically, let me explain to you how my journey has been going so far. I jumped into Sorare thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. I love this. This is something I've been wanting for a very, very long time. Let's do it right now. Yes, right? Let's put some money in. Wanted to take part in every single limited league. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I want to have a team for All-Star. I want to have a team for everything. I want to take part in under 23s. I want to take part in Challenger Europe. I want to have a team in Champion Europe. And then I realized, you know what? I don't want to play limited. I don't want to play in these divisions. Because my teams are not good enough, because I've spread myself too wide, spent all my money on multiple teams that at the time didn't necessarily perform. But when I sold, I still made profits on a lot of the players, especially the under 23s who have risen in price at that point. And I've also taken some losses on the chin. Then I did my research. I watched a bunch of videos, listened to a bunch of podcasts, and realized, hey, for my budget that I have, I should be playing an All-Star. Then I went ahead and thought, oh yeah, I want to have a team in All-Star. I want to have a team in Under 23, in Champion Europe, Challenger Europe, America. I want to have a team in Asia. I want to be spread out all over the rare division. And then I realized, hey, man, you're making the same mistake that you made earlier on with the limiteds. And what are you doing? If you want to get rewards, you have to have quality teams. So for my budget, it would only be smart to sell off a bunch of my players and go for certain players that are going to be helping me massively to go for rewards in the most important divisions. And for me personally, those are Under 23, All-Star, and Champion Europe. Those are the 3 divisions that I want to partake in with really, really good squads to be able to yield rewards off of it and continue boosting up my account. That's one thing. Like, not one thing. There were hours and hours and hours of processing and understanding what mistakes I've made, what kind of issues I've had along my way. It all comes down to wanting to gain that knowledge, opening yourself up to listening to podcasts, going ahead and watching YouTube videos of experienced Sorare managers, contacting people, asking them for advice if they are people that have experience on a platform. That's so important. You can't do Sorare completely by yourself unless you're a millionaire and you just buy the best players and yeah, just go ahead and play, right? That's going to be easy. But if you are a normal person like me and you want to jump in there and learn. And learning means you will make mistakes, you will have issues along the way, but don't give up. Learn from those mistakes, shift your portfolio into things that you are mostly interested in, and go for quality rather than quantity. Because yes, it's nice to have a threshold team in the All-Star division that costs you like 1,000 euros. You get the 0.02 ETH threshold every single week. Good for you. But Instead of that, you could go for a team that is worth 1,000 euros, go into the under 23 limiteds, and probably get a lot more out of it. So it comes down to really understanding what kind of mistakes you're making on the platform and moving on from them and making the right decisions after. I've had multiple game weeks now on the platform, and I've been making mistakes left, right, and center. The only players that I have personally been rewarded with so far are these two. I am in no way, shape, or form an expert. Not at all. But I have gained myself 0.08 ETH through being on the platform. And I have been quite successful with trading players and making money that way. And raising my evaluation of my roster big time. I only invested around 6.5 ETH by now. And apparently my gallery is worth 9.86. And the unique that we got, we sold for 0.8 ETH in terms of a transfer. So you can tell the gallery is doing really well, right? I am making the right moves, but I haven't made the right moves in terms of SO5. And that's the next step that I want to take. And I really hope this video in general helps you guys to become a better Sorare manager. I appreciate you all. I will catch you on the next one. Take care and peace.